Hi, Ellen. I think that was your voice I heard.
Yep.
So I think they're just the last couple of folks coming in from the waiting room, and we'll get started. I always really like to honor your time because you're giving some time to us to be together. And it is good to see you all on this, and certainly down in High River, cold Wednesday afternoon. I know Jess Beckerly, who's the office manager and assistant to pastoral relations, posted a picture on this morning, which terrified me of the snow in that she was experiencing while taking one of her children to school this morning. So um, I hope you're all staying safe out there. For those of you who don't know me, I am Karen Medland. I'm the pastoral relations minister and community of faith support staff. And I am hosting today while Trina is away. And so it's my great privilege to welcome you all to this space together this week before one of my favorite weeks in the church, which is Holy Week. And we have some good time to be together this week as we is just before we head into that week. So Joel Dunhan is somewhere on the screens. And so, oh, there he is. He turned
Here
up
I
your mic.
am.
There you are. And Joel's going to open our time together with some prayer. And then we're
First, we
going,
have to have a puppy break.
oh, first of all, compulsory puppy break. So this is Nadia, Joel and Shelley's newest puppy, the terror of my puppy, Sadie. So Joel and Shelley's other dog, Daisy, is best friends with my dog, and Nadia is causing problems. It's the whole triangle thing going on. So it's good to see Nadia. Joel, do you want to help us settle into our time together by opening us up with some prayer?
She just came down right at the right time. So, you know, let's join together in prayer. Living God, in this season of Lent, we are called by your Spirit to consider things of the Spirit, to consider ourselves as creatures of the Spirit, motivated, enthused, and filled by your Spirit of love. We're called in this season of Lent to consider the Spirit and its leadership in our lives, in our faith communities, and in our church community. And yet at the same time, we are aware that there's so much in the world around us that is not of the Spirit. And there are so many things in the communities and the nations and in the lives of people around us that are burdens, that are sources of fear and anxiety. Let's take some time, help us to take some time this afternoon to consider this as a moment to experience your grace, to experience your inspiration, and to connect with one another as people of the Spirit. For we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, Joel. So we're going to do some staff updates to get us started. The staff will update you on some of the work they're doing and promoting some things that we believe are really important for you to be aware of. And I'm going to start with Chris Mapoy, who's going to share some stuff around First Third and social justice ministries. Chris.
Thanks, Karen, and good afternoon, everyone. In the world of First Third Ministry, we've come through the spring season of our Uncharted program and our Youth Council program, and we're still looking forward to hosting one final program this spring before the AGM, and that's the Imagine Children's Retreat. We're going to be hosted at Camp Kasota East, and I believe that registration for that event is still open. The Imagine Children's Retreat will be April 17th to April 19th. So do register as soon as you can, and I'm going to drop that link into the chat. Going forward towards the AGM, I'm sad that I won't be able to join you. I'll be welcoming a new child into our family at that time. I swear that we didn't have that planned. But this is just a reminder to folks at the AGM that we have a quorum requirement for Chinook Winds Regional Council, that at least 5% of our gathered court be under the age of 30 in order for us to pass motions for decision. So this is a great time to reach out to the young folks in your lives, encourage them to step into positions of leadership within the church, and join us at the regional AGM program. And I'm hoping that one of my colleagues will be able to drop the link to the Chinook Winds AGM registration into the chat. On the Justice Ministry side of things, I'll be working over the summer on a little bit of a new plan, which is to bring some community organizing training to folks within the region. I'm hoping to offer some community organizing training in person as well as on our Sage platform. So stay tuned for some details on that as those plans come together. But I also wanted to make a continued appeal for folks to join the work of the Regional Affirming Working Group. There continue to be a myriad of ways in which the province's actions have had a profound negative impact on queer folks in the province of Alberta. And I'm struggling on my own to try and bring a voice of advocacy to the federal, or to, excuse me, to the provincial government and build some coalitions around protecting queer youth in our province in particular. So if you're interested in the work of being an affirming regional council, in addition to all of the fantastic work that's going on in Affirming Connections, please get in touch with me at the regional office. I would welcome support from folks across the region as we continue to live into being an affirming church. And that's the very quick update that I had. Pass it back to Karen.
Sorry, I was muted. Thanks, Chris. And now Shelley has some updates around registration and a new uh, communications platform that she's created.
Okay, thanks, Karen. And I've just put the registration link into the chat, so it is there for you. Registration is coming in quite well, and also there is the wonderful pre-event that Southern Alberta Japanese United has organized for us. So I hope that you will sign up for that. The hotel that was listed at this point is full. They may have some rooms that will open up by the end of the month, so you can check back with them. Or on the registration form, there are listed other hotels that you can book with. And then I want to share with you. If I can work this out. Here it is. Okay, can you see something that says get plugged in? Okay, great. Then, so this is in the works for us. We're introducing a new communication tool and we're revamping some of our other tools. So introducing to you the Get Plugged In events bulletin. And this is the email that you're going to be able to plug your United Church event. And then you'll want to read it every month when it lands in your inbox on the first Thursday of the month to find out what's happening in Chinook Winds region. And people will be able to submit their event, and the form will look a bit like this, but it'll be a bit longer. And that will be accessible on the website. And you're going to be able to upload your artwork for your event. And see, here I am again, also plugging the Imagine Children's Retreat. But in terms of artwork, the horizontal artwork will work well in this newsletter, and you'll want to keep it simple. Um, vertical posters will still work in this system, but um, vertical posters don't show up as well. The system will accept JPEGs and PNGs. Um, it will accept PDFs, but they won't show up. I don't know why it accepts PDFs, but it does. And then um, try to keep the size around 500 kilobytes, no more than 1 megabyte. Otherwise, we don't want to blow up our website. The other bonus to this is your event is going to show up on our Chinook Winds region calendar. And so what this will mean is you'll be able to go to the calendar on the Chinook Winds website and find out about all the events that are happening across the region. So that's another bonus with this. So the submission form will be going live on the Chinook Winds website before the end of this week, and there will be information going out to people with guidelines on how to submit your event. It needs to be a United Church event or a United Church affiliated event. So for example, a lot of us as United Church people, we do community service outside of um, being United Church. And one of mine is I'm a 4-H leader with a canine project. So if my 4-H kids had a fundraising event, it's not affiliated with United Church. And so I wouldn't be able to put that event onto the uh, into this. Um, however, if my 4-H kids were helping out with a St. Francis blessing at a United Church, then I might be able to put that up if I had spoken with the minister at that church. So it needs to have a United Church connection. The first Get Plugged In events bulletin is going to go out on Thursday, April 9th, just so that gives us a bit of time after Easter to get used to get our events in. And then following, beginning in May and going forward from there, the events bulletin will go out the first Thursday of the month. And to get into that monthly events bulletin, you'll want to have submitted your event by the Tuesday before the first Thursday of the month. So, any questions about that? Super.
How do people register to get that, or will they get it if they already are on the newsletter list?
So that there will be a special email going out to people that will um, that will have the event form in it. Um, but by tomorrow afternoon, that the form will actually be up on the website, and it'll be accessible right on the search bar at the top. So that's where the form will be. So what so one of the things, so with this change, what it also means is that we'll be able to focus our Chinook Winds newsletter then on the news of the region, which means that if you have a special story and photos about ministry in your congregation that you're excited about, then please send those in, and I'm happy to publish those. We all like reading about what our neighbors are doing. So
Thanks, Shelley.
um,
This is exciting. Another way for us all to communicate with the region and the region back into all of your lives.
I noticed in the
Dora,
chat,
you have your hand raised. Did you have a question for
Yeah,
us?
just with the last thing that you said, Shelley. So it's advertising events that will take place, not something that's already happened. I mean, something that's already happened might be in the newsletter, but it's things that are going to happen. It's events that'll happen, right? That probably sounds like a really dumb question. It's
yeah, no,
advertising
no.
events in the
So
future.
yeah, so someone from your church has sent out about a musical theater event that's happening in May. And
Right.
so that they'll want to be filling out this form so that so that event gets into this bulletin.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. It's a good clarity question. Thank you, Dora.
Yes, and then
Uh,
if I could say
yeah, Wilma?
what these items will not show up in the newsletter now.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll go on the calendar that is on the website.
Yes.
Yeah. So Marie's asking. Marie was asking if yeah. So the
Yeah,
newsletter will still come out. Okay.
yeah, because the newsletter is going to focus on other pieces.
Sorry, Shelley. I thought I heard you say that this one would that this other plugged in would come out once a month as well.
Yeah, so that the events newsletter will come out once a month. So the first Thursday of the month, but in April it will be April 9th. So the week after Easter.
Any other questions for Shelley on those two items? Okay. Michelle, leadership. What exciting projects have you got lined up for us?
Thank you. Can everybody see the PowerPoint? Yes. Um, I if you are still looking for something exciting to do in April, you are warmly welcome to join us in Prince George the weekend of April 17th, 18th, and 19th. We're holding a festival of faith, and our focus will be on cooperative ministry and how we can cooperate with one another as communities of faith and partner with other churches, denominations, and agencies in our communities. And we're going to have fabulous worship, great music. Christy Gunter is coming from Hillhurst, and yeah, it's just going to be a great event. Still room to register. Whoops. Why isn't it? There we go. If you are ministry personnel and you were not able to make it to the Chinook Winds region retreat in February, you would be very welcome at this retreat, which we are hosting in Pacific Mountain region at Naramata Center, April 20th to 23rd. It is a beautiful time to be in the Okanagan. And if you have maybe a week of study or vacation post Easter that you're wondering what to do with, you'd again be very welcome. You would fly Calgary to Kelowna or Penticton, and then we can arrange to get you picked up there. And our focus is on radical hope and what that means in this kind of time of poly crisis, so to speak. Application is now open for this leadership development program for ministry personnel, the renewal and revitalization pathway. It is an 8-month pathway. It will involve 8 coaching calls, group coaching calls, 2 in-person retreats, one to open and one to close, and 3 webinars and a variety of weekly articles and reflection prompts. This is a high expectation pathway program and high reward, high investment. And we're really excited to be holding it along with some of the leadership from the Kineo Center in Puerto Rico. So the two retreats, the first one in October, beginning of October, will be at Naramata Center in BC, and the second one in April 2027 will be in Loon Lake in BC. Definitely encourage people to ponder, pray, and talk to me about it if you have questions. We will have some bursaries available to assist with travel, and the the expectation is that you can pay in installments, so you can pull from different years of continuing education budget. So we've worked hard to make it accessible. It's heavily subsidized. So please be in touch or fill out the application online. If you are near this corner, we are hosting a Kootenai cluster gathering, um, which will be focused on governance. So some of the workshops that we held at the Learning Park last fall will be hosting again. It's going to be the last weekend of September, and it will be in Kimberley Shared Ministry. So if that is um, uh, appealing to you, talk with me about it. You'd be very welcome. And closer to home, we are bringing back after 2 years our very popular Rural Ministry Conference. Our theme is on strengthening rural connections. Part of the Toward 2035 vision is kind of reclaiming that Methodist connectionalism. And so we're going to be leaning into that. It will be October 2nd to 4th, hosted by the folks in Three Hills and Trochu, Alberta. And I'll be getting going on that soon to get some hotels booked um, and workshop leaders invited. So put that on your calendars. And farther abroad, if you did not get to join Trina on her last hosted trip to Guatemala, we have another opportunity coming. It's 12 days, end of October, early November. So there'll be some time thinking about Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, and what we can learn from that culture. And there's more information, and you can register on the Leadership website, actually on the World Pilgrim website, but there's a link. And then, yay! Because of popular demand, we will be hosting the Ministry Personnel Retreat again this coming February 1st to 4th, 2027. That's a Monday to Thursday, and at the same beautiful place, Sanctum Retreat Center. The cost will go up because it has been heavily subsidized, and we don't have the budget to do that every year, but it will still be, I think, a pretty reasonable cost. Finally, May 2027, put it in your calendar and start walking and join me and others walking the way of the Camino de Santiago de Compostela. You can walk the last piece to Santiago. You can walk just the piece from Santiago to Finisterre, the end of the earth, which is the ocean, or you can do both. And there's more information on the Leadership website as well. And I will be at the AGM, so feel free to target me there or talk to me and or check out our website, leadershift.uccan.org. Thank you.
Thanks, Michelle. Wow, amazing things for us to be part of. And I would give a big shout out to that 8-month program that you're doing, Michelle, with Tanya and Dan from the Kineo Center in Puerto Rico, partly because I've been down there, but also just that experience of being in community for 8 months with people is amazing. So sign up, folks. Please, please sign up. I'm going to give some stuff from past relations, and then I'm going to ask Taylor to get ready to offer some pieces from the executive. In terms of past relations, we are offering ministry and personnel workshop. We try and do one at the beginning in the kind of the first half of the year after you've all had your new MMP members elected at your annual general meeting. I know that this is on the long weekend, but given all of the amazing things that the region are trying to offer through leadership and AGMs and all of the stuff we're doing, it was literally the only weekend I had that we could get time to do this. And so we are meeting at High River United Church on May 16th. There is a registration, there has been a registration form in the newsletter. So if you haven't registered and want to come and spend the day working on your skills as MMP folks, I highly recommend that you register. Lunch is always provided, and that is what the cost for the workshop covers. I find that it's a great way for people who are new to MMP to connect with folks who have some real wisdom and knowledge around being members of an MMP committee. And we talk about some of the struggles you have and also create hopefully a toolkit for you to do the work that you are called to do in your congregations. I'm also doing a bit of a mini board retreat on April 18th. It is based at Drumheller. It's really being hosted by Drumheller and that cluster that Drumheller are part of. And if you are interested in participating in that and spending the day up in Drumheller with those folks, if you reach out to, there is a registration form that's being handled by the Drumheller congregation, but if you need contact information for that, you can reach out to myself or Shelley if you have problems finding a way of registering for that. So those are two pieces that the pastoral relations are supporting. On the other side, around lay leadership in the church, we are looking at supporting more work or more training for our lay licensed worship leaders in the region, because we realize how much we rely on you and how vital you are to the ministry of the region and supporting congregations having a vital worship life. And so we are looking at doing a few pieces during the summer break, kind of late spring, summer time, where we would be offering some intensive training weekends that will supplement the online program that you can take through ChurchX. And this is hopefully to allow us to accelerate you from becoming a lay licensed worship leader in 2 years into being a lay licensed worship leader in 1 year. So please watch for information on this in the newsletter. I'm hoping we will get this out to you as soon as possible. So that's what's happening in pastoral relations and in lay support, the lay support team. And so, Taylor, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Karen. May have seen the video that was sent out by email yesterday that Nancy and I had prepared following the regional's executive meeting that was held in Cochrane. So I might repeat myself a bit, but my apologies if I do. So every year and a half-ish or so, the executive likes to move around where we meet rather than just the regional council office in Okotoks. We want to talk to the local congregations around the region and see what's going on with them, what are their joys, what are their challenges. So this time around, we went up to Cochrane and we were able to talk to the neighboring congregations in Canmore and Banff and Airdrie and Crossfield and get a feel about what's been going on with those congregations. We heard a little bit about this at the last regional AGM about Airdrie, about that they had let their building go. Now they are in a bit of a exodus. I think that's the way they would describe themselves as well, as we will prepare for finding a new permanent home, but very graciously they have space available to them in the public library in Airdrie, a fantastic new facility. So I think that is a congregation in our regional council that all of us should be holding in prayer for those lay people in that congregation that are trying to hold the congregation together during a challenging time without the stability of having a building. So just let's have a thought for Airdrie as well. But yeah, it was very good to talk to folks in Cochrane. They're having too much success, I think they would kind of a way they would frame it, that they have growing pastoral needs and how to accommodate the needs in their congregation. We heard from Banff and Canmore about their life together now as they've amalgamated into one pastoral charge. And Crossfield was there too and was a very helpful contribution because Crossfield had experienced losing their building. It had burnt down in their past, and they were able to share some of that experience with the Airdrie folks and hopefully offer some hope that they'll be able to make it through this challenging time. So it was really good to have the conversations with those congregations. Within the executive, we were chatting about finances. I shared some of that in that video. Still, we project a deficit going into this year as well. Last year, we were spared of a lot of problems because we had very favorable financial situation due to the stock market doing so well, and as well as the staff are very judiciously using the resources that we have. There was an acknowledgement in our meeting. We know where all this money comes from. We know the hard work that every congregation within the region must undertake for every dollar just to balance your own budgets, but to be able to pass on money onto the region as well. We know all the fall suppers and bake sales that you're putting on to support your ministry as well as the ministry of the regional council. So as well, regarding that ministry, the work that the executive does is we sort of are, as a governance body, we set directive and policy for the region, and then it is the staff that are the one that executes upon the direction that the executives give. So all of these updates you've received from the staff, all the exciting things going on in our region, this is all the ways they've decided to live out the goals that we set for the region. And we've been chatting about just generally beyond our annual goals for the region. Also, what's the goals for the region itself? What's the purpose of the region? When our region was created, it was a real trial by fire as we went right into the pandemic just a year after our creation, and it really tested us in very hard ways. And thankfully, things are starting to even out. People are feeling a little bit more engaged with what's going on in the region. They're participating in clusters. So now our executive wants to know, well, now that we're out of the sort of like emergency situation that we had in the pandemic, what's our purpose as a regional council? How do we support all of our communities of faith across the region? So like part of that discussion, which is going to be facilitated by Nancy Norris and David Holmes at the regional meeting, is going to be a discussion about your own communities of faith, what their purpose is. We're sort of guided towards these things, and like in the words of a new creed, that we're called together to celebrate God's presence, live with respect in creation, love and serve others, proclaim Jesus crucified and risen. But how do we actually live that out locally in our communities of faith? So then that further discussion will be, once we've identified the purpose of our communities of faith, how does the regional council assist you in living out that purpose as well? So in identifying our local purpose, we'll expand that to our regional purpose as well. We've been talking about the wider ministry of the regional council as well. So you heard about the events that are being planned for the coming year. We've said that we've been alternating every year with the learning party and the Rural Ministry Conference. And we've sort of said that we think that the next time that the Learning Party comes around, that's going to be 2027. We think that we're going to expand that into a festival of faith, similar to the event that's happening in Prince George that Michelle shared about. And so this would be not just for people that participate in community of faith leadership. We want to expand this to as many lay people across the region as possible, a real celebration of our United Church identity and faith, and then pair that along with the Learning Party, because people have said that that's been very beneficial when they've participated in all of those. Another wider regional thing is we had a discussion regarding the coming provincial referendum in the fall. And we think that we, as a church, should prepare a referendum toolkit, this similar to like when we prepare an election toolkit during provincial and federal elections as well. And so we have members of the executive and the staff that are working together to prepare something for that in the fall. We know this is a deeply sensitive issue with congregations in our regional council. We're being very careful to maintain the peace and unity of the church in whatever we're going to prepare for use amongst our membership as well. I'll just share a few words about the EGM. You've heard a bunch about how to get here, and I hope you will take on the pre-event as well. That should be really good if you're able to make it for that. During the meeting, the theme of the meeting is provoking leadership. So how that we might extrapolate that is, how does God provoke us to leadership? And then how do we offer leadership in the church to provoke people within the church and also to provoke the wider world outside of our walls as well? So we have an excellent speaker coming, the Reverend Mitchell Anderson, who serves St. Paul's United Church in Saskatoon. He'll be sharing some really good stuff with us. Mitchell has just recently ended a term on the General Council Executive. All right, he has a master's in business administration, so he has some leadership experience both inside and outside of the church as well. And I think that's going to be very expansive about how we engage with our theme. We have two items for business. We have two proposals that's come to us, so we'll have discussions about that. And so it looks like we're going to have quite a jam-packed agenda. We're looking forward to your engagement with everything we're going to do at the AGM. We're looking forward to seeing you here in Lethbridge in just, I think it's 5 weeks away. So that's all I have to share on behalf of the executive.
Thanks, Taylor.
That
Sounds like executive been equally busy. Everyone's been just working so hard lately. So our last staff update is from Sarah Giles, and Sarah is holding the post of our stewardship animator right now, and she is coming to us from, is it Saskatoon, Sarah?
No, I am right on the Manitoba border in Saskatchewan.
Right on the border of Manitoba and
Yep,
Saskatchewan. So
yes, we're
welcome.
getting lots of snow today.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know, but oh well.
It's great to welcome you into our circle, Sarah, as our stewardship animator. And I know Sarah is going to share some information with us. And so, yeah, if you just want to say a little bit about yourself first, that would be great. And
For sure.
then over to you, Sarah.
Great, thank you. And thanks, folks. It's nice to be here today. I am, as Karen mentioned, filling in for Vicky while she's on leave. So I would like to leave her a very robust folder of people that I've engaged with in Chinook Winds while she's been away. So call me. But also, if you have worked with Vicky before, I don't have access to all of her files, so I might not know. And so if you're feeling a little bit left out, sort of to dry by yourself, just send me a note that says, "Hey, I worked with Vicky," and I'll try and find some information even from the other people in the stewardship department. So I have come to this role from my last charge was 10 years in a 3-point rural charge. And so I'm really enjoying sort of seeing the back end or seeing some of the cogs turning for the church. and helping people to find the hope and the joy in their own communities of faith. There is a lot of hope in the 5 regions that I support, and so it's really wonderful to see. So I do have a slideshow that's just quick, sort of about what's going on in stewardship right now. Before that, 2 things. One, if you've read your newsletter that came out, just which I'm sure you all have, the link for the M&S, the Mission and Service Easter video, is not working. It was redone so that it was more accessible with some voice talk over, so it wasn't just reading. So the one that was sent is not available. So I'm sending this new link in the chat, and I'll also send it in the next newsletter as well. And the second thing I forgot to mention is that I am coming from Treaty 4 territory, so a little bit different than where you are to the west of me. So let me share my screen here. Dum-dum-dum. Okay. Whoop. Are you able to see the slideshow? The first slide?
We're seeing the presenter's version.
Oh, well, good grief. Hang on 1 second, then I shared the wrong screen. Whoops. Sorry, folks. Oh, you're seeing all my screens here. What the heck back? Oh, there we go. Stop sharing. My apologies. This is the one I want to share. There, is that better?
Perfect.
Perfect, thank you. So, stewardship. This presentation's called Go Jump in the Lake because I think sometimes people feel a little bit underwater when they're thinking about church budgets or finances, or even as though they're sinking when we are considering ways to increase givings and other stewardship ideas. So more than ever, we need to work together and make sure everyone's safe in the proverbial water and that no one's drowning or flailing and that, people aren't way ahead of us swimming. We need to work together as a team and achieve our shared goals. So we need to talk to each other about and share resources and collaborate. And this is a big piece of toward 2035 as well, if you've heard of some of the work that's happening there. In the growth unit, so philanthropy recently joined with growth. So we're the growth stewardship unit. But in the growth unit, we talk about stewardship as a journey a lot. So let's float down the river together today. We'll do something now to grow generosity and reduce panic about money. Whoop, this does not want to stay. Here we go. So this flower you may have seen or not. It is the discipleship flower. And so everything just sort of goes together and one works upon the other. So I'm just going to share the petals of this flower. The titles are prayer, generosity, sharing freely from the talents and time that God has given us, sharing faith, Bible study, worship, and loving service. So one doesn't happen without the other. We need them all. So it's sort of like when you're learning the front stroke, the freestyle, often you're taught to sort of chant something in your head. So Pepsi Cola 7 Up is what my kids most recently learned. 20 years ago when they learned to swim. But so it's Pepsi, Cola, 7 Up. And when you say 7 Up, you breathe and stroke at the same time. And so it all has to work together, each part of the front stroke in rhythm in order to move through the water efficiently and with oxygen. And so stewardship and discipleship is similar. Each petal or spiritual practice relates to another one and allows us to effectively and efficiently move through the world in a more impactful way. So generosity is not something we talk about only to fund other spiritual practices. Generosity is a spiritual practice. So sharing what we have is part of growing in the way of what Jesus called us to do. We aren't consumers of the church, We need to share ourselves and be the church, live out our faith. And so I encourage you to sort of think about the different spiritual practices that you have and how they relate to one another. Keeps wanting to go to 4. Here we go. So perhaps, as you, like I used to, take a look at the discipleship flower, hear the word stewardship, and either tune out, letting your exhaustion and exasperation win, or you've already made up your mind that we don't have any extra people and nobody has any extra money in their pockets. Have you seen the price of eggs and milk? Well, that's okay, because I need you to hear that stewardship isn't A, fundraising, or B, about increasing offering envelopes. It's about growing and shaping faithful disciples of Christ. So maybe you feel anxious about the state of your church's finances or the state of mainline denomination churches in our country, but we need to remember that someone in this group, someone in the group around us that we can share resources with, used to be a lifeguard, and they're able to give us tips and tricks, and to help make sure that we don't drown. We need to work together. And teaching yourself to swim is much more difficult than drawing on the teachings and skills of other people in the group. So let's build relationships. You can do anything, but you can't do everything. So lean on your relationships. And that's what you'll see, stewardship and the pieces that we're doing is all about relationship. It's all about those relationship buildings. So 3 quick reminders for working well on a team or in community. Prioritize connection and community. Connecting with others can provide a sense of belonging and support. So building and maintaining strong relationships within our communities can foster a collective sense of hope and resilience. Observe, notice, and name. Be mindful of the person around us that we're walking through life with, and look around, notice what's going on with them, and maintain a hopeful outlook. It helps us to lift each other up. And set yourself up for some small wins. Hopefully at the end of this presentation, you may have identified a small something or other that you can do to get your community of faith working on stewardship. So if we're putting energy into relationships, how can we nurture them so that we're all good stewards of our resources and contribute to our community of faith? If you've participated in any of the Called to be the Church, the Journey training before, you'll know that knowing and articulating the missions of your community, so what are we doing here? Why are we here? It's the first thing that we tackle in stewardship. So it's the inspire piece of this stewardship trinity. Inspire, invite, and thank. In our ministries, we inspire. We want to tell the story of God's actions in our lives, the community, and the world. The why. Why do I attend church? Why do I volunteer in this community? Why do I give? We want to invite. Invite others to join us in generosity, responding to God's great call to mission. So for example, you might say to someone, you have a program that you want to get off the ground and you need funding. And so you tell your friend all about it, this great program that we've got, and then maybe end it with, I've made a $300 donation towards it. Are you able to do the same? Just ask them, can you match my donation? Something like that. There's all kinds of different ways to invite people to give. Even, hey, I heard you played the piano and we don't have anybody for next Sunday. Could you share your gifts with us? And then thank. We need to express our heartfelt gratitude for all the gifts we see and receive. So hearing and seeing thanks brings repeat givers, and it also allows others to be inspired. They might think, well, if I can do that, or if you can do that, so can I. So saying thank you is just one part of a robust culture of gratitude. So for example, you might put up on your screens or in the bulletins, thanks to the Anderson family for sponsoring our bulletins this week and donating $150 towards the printing of them for the month of April. Encourage people to cover some costs like that. That's another way to invite and thank. So I'm a big believer that personal gratitude practices are powerful and have the ability to transform. So a couple of things, a couple of introductions here to our programs. You can find free stewardship resource kits for download on the United Church website. So it's united-church.ca and then /stewardship, or you can use the QR code if you do that. And so there's four pieces there that you can download that are just, they have ideas to get you started with templates and examples. We have in the encouraging generosity section of the page on the website, we have the starter kit, the digging deeper, which has information on narrative budgets and how to write a great tax receipt letter. Stewardship program kit with some ideas for doing meaningful and inspiring stewardship campaigns, and our legacy and bequest giving kit with information and materials to set up or refresh a planned giving program. If you want to dive a little deeper, we also have full free worship services that focus on stewardship. There's a few different series, and there's some standalone services that you can use throughout the year. They highlight how generosity has always been a central aspect of who we are as God's people. So on that site, there are also invitations to offering and dedication prayers based on the lectionary for each Sunday of every year. So if you're looking for some resources, there is a great spot as well. And if you join in our call to the church, the journey, call to be the church, the journey programs, which we find on ChurchX platform, the first one that I would encourage you, Getting Started in Stewardship, is a one-time 90-minute introductory course. So you come on your own or with a team, you learn with others from across the country, and you get resources and support to continue the journey. And that actually is tomorrow. So if you want to sign up and need some help, email me or just log on to ChurchX. It's very, like make an account, log on and sign up. Then there's some more courses that if you want to take the plunge into swimming with stewardship, with a team, you can work on getting started in stewardship. That's tomorrow. Or next, it's being run in August. Stewardship best practices is being run later in the fall. We just finished the program yesterday. And it's a 5-session course that focuses on creating an annual stewardship plan with ideas to inspire, invite, and thank throughout the year. The next one, Setting Up Your Giving Program, is a 2-session course that focuses on running that meaningful stewardship campaign. So we're just looking at how do we engage people in relationship to be disciples in our churches. And last, our Bequest and Estate Giving course. This one is so important for the future sustainability of the church. And right now, for the centennial year, there's an opportunity to participate in the United Church Foundation's Here I Am campaign with extra support and resources for launching a really successful program. And honestly, this bequest and estate giving is free to download right now as an on-demand course. So you just do it on your own time at home by yourself. And then you can always email for information if you have questions about it. And it is free to download right now until June. And then that year will be up and it will be something you pay for. And honestly, I hadn't gone through that course or that information prior to beginning this position. And when I did go through it, I just kept thinking, oh, I wish I'd known that. Oh, that would have been easy to incorporate here. Or, oh, I should have looked at this before. So you might think, but I would just download it. It's free. So in our work with communities of faith, we teach you to track data and find the good news. So it's very easy to just get fixated on the negatives and get into that vacuum. But the vast majority of teams who've worked with us experience growth in several of these areas: congregational morale, your confidence in inspiring your donors and wider community, the joy you're finding in stewardship ministry. Yes, it's possible to find joy in ministry. Also, mission and service donors, we track the PAR donors, the amount given through PAR. So there's lots of information there, along with a workup of who's in your community. I'm just going to skip that one. So, doing something is always better than doing nothing. So here are all the things that you can do that don't require permission of councils and committees. You can make one simple announcement during PAR month, which is May, so it's coming right up, to invite PAR donors to join people to join PAR or to review what they're giving through PAR. Send thank you letters to donors. Use one of our worship resources. You can commit to sharing one example in every worship service of offerings in action, or you can tell a mission and service story. But don't take my word for it. So here's a couple of quotes that I'm going to share with you about that are from some participants. If you're starting on a stewardship journey, this course is for you and your team. Lots of guidance, resources, and encouragement. This is a wonderful introduction to stewardship and what it can be for any community of faith. It helps to understand the whole aspect of stewardship and not just the money. I like the emphasis on gratitude. We have so much to be thankful for. So inviting people to share their abundance and their blessings with your community of faith requires a bit of courage and a whole lot of joy. And sometimes we get cautious when we want to talk about money with people in our faith community. We feel like we're asking people to do something uncomfortable or something that is bad for them. And I want to challenge that. Giving feels good. So when you feel clear and excited about your community's mission, when your leadership can be hopeful and grateful about all the skills and people and resources there, and then inviting isn't hard. It's simply a reminder that money flows through your congregation to make all of this possible. And donations are greatly received. So together as a community, more is possible when we all share. And that is my little quick overview. I'm going to stop sharing here about stewardship. Thank you for going through. And yeah, if you have any questions, email me. I'll just put my email in the chat. And
Shelley's done that for you, actually.
thanks. Oh, she did. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thanks, people.
Thank you, Sarah. Welcome to the team. So, folks, lots of information in the chat there. Now, the staff have done a lot of talking, and so is the presiding officer. So I know you really all came to hang out and connect with one another. So we're going to get to your favorite part of town hall, and we're going to put you into some small groups. I'm hoping that someone out there, not me, is sorting you all into small groups. And as they're doing that, we're going to send you off to small groups for about 10, 15 minutes with a couple of questions to reflect on. So there, just to set up the first question, when I was doing my internship, that shows you how long ago it was. I did an internship. I didn't do an SME. My supervisor decided to give up coffee for Lent. It was the quietest month we ever had in the office. No one came by because everybody was concerned that they would receive grouchy minister if they came in because, they figured coffee had an impact on their personality. So I know that there is, for some folks, a tradition of giving things up for Lent, or there's always the challenge of taking on maybe a new spiritual practice or something during the season of Lent. So as you go into your small groups, which I'm hoping Shelley or Chris is organizing right now, the first question I'm offering, thanks, Chris, that I'm offering you is, did you give up something or take on a new challenge during this season of Lent? And if you did, what was it and how did it go? Now, and what did you learn about yourself in that challenge? And the second question is, so if you don't like that one, I wanted to give you another question. What is your favorite part of Holy Week and Easter? What is the thing you are most looking forward to? This might not be so much for the ministers. They may not. I know it's a really busy week for those of you who are in leadership next week, but what is your favorite part of the week that is to come? What is your favorite part of Holy Week and Easter? So we're going to break up into small groups, hopefully, and I'm putting the questions in the chat for you to take with you.